it up, count it up, count it up.
Real, you want to talk about K.O.D?
Let's talk about K.O.D today.
There you go.
And his most recent album, K.O.D, long-awaited. What do you guys have to say about it?
I like the album.
I loved it.
To be honest with you, one of the reasons why I actually like the album is because if you notice how it's structured, just the composition of it, it's like a high. You know, you're introduced to the album, you know, smooth, but the moment like that second track hits, K.O.D, you know, it's like a rush, and the rush doesn't stop, and it just keeps going. And then I think at some point, you know, at the album, you feel that low, you know, and again, it speaks about addiction. And even if you never really have been addicted, but if you ever like felt a high, you know how that is, that you get a rush and a sensation, but then you come down. And I think that's what J.Cole was able to do, but he personified it, you know. That's why I like the album.
Definitely. What do you think, Tachi?
Before we dive into more topics, we're going to talk about how much we like the album. And first of all, before I say, I love the album. But first of all, music, is subjective. So you can like Cole and you cannot like Cole, and it's fine. You get me? Everybody has their own taste.
And we have a lot of that controversy. I think in
yeah,
the whole country.
People are coming out with things out of the woodwork with J. Cole saying he's boring, and I get that. You know, I see where they're coming from. But to me personally, I love the album. I feel like it was amazing. It was perfect. It hit peaks. Like it surpassed his previous albums. I feel like this is his best album so far.
Definitely.
And I'm hoping he comes out with this. I hope he's coming out with more amazing albums, and this puts down the what's the word for it?
The critics, like the
criticism
he gets sometimes
that he's receiving with it, that he's boring and stuff. To me, this was amazing. So
yeah, I mean, I definitely think he did a great job. I think one thing that he does a phenomenal job at is, you know, I even wrote this down, is that he really stays, you know, omnipresent. He's not out of any type of rap or hip hop era. You know, he continues to be consistent with, you know, his delivery and his flow and his rhythm, and his rhymes, his lyrics. You know what I'm saying? They're potent. He has a lot of meaning to everything that he say. You know,
the message is direct. Like it's a great message.
And I mean, if you really think about it, he's been, to me, J. Cole has been going strong since 2011. You know what I'm saying? Since he had released Cold World Sideline Story.
And he came out with projects before that. And he came out in 2007.
Exactly. And he started getting recognized way before that. But this is the one, at least for me, that I said, okay, this guy's already a top contender, top rapper in history.
This album was put well together, was amazingly put together, and I feel like J. Cole just blew everybody out the water, and it shows because he broke multiple records, streaming records, sales, everything, and this album, you know, speaks for itself when it comes to like talking about greatness. I would say.
Yeah, that's true.
I would put it up there, to be honest. It was that great of an album for
Definitely.
me.
Yeah, that album. I don't know. When I think about it, like more specifically, you know, when you go through the tracks, there's usually like a track or two that, you know, really stands out, or I think that really resonates with people. And for my track that I think was that really like got me to really appreciate the album was Friends. You know, it's just like that hook, and it's how Cole uses his other persona of Kill Edward. You know, it's just like the combination of everything, the beats, which obviously, you know, Cole works on it himself, which is another thing that I think people don't realize, how much work goes into making his music, is his music from the ground up, so to speak. And on Friends, I feel like, you know, it was almost as if though Cole was standing right next to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the presence that I feel like he puts himself into it.
He's powerful.
Exactly.
He's powerful with everything that he puts out.
What was your favorite track?
To be honest, I don't really have a favorite because I love so many of them, and I still cannot stop listening to them. You know, I work out, I listen to them. I'm literally at home just listening to them. I'm writing my own music and listening to this guy because he's so creative that, you know, I just think that everything sounds good. If I had a single one out, I would say maybe ATM. I just think it's a hype song. It gets me pretty hyped, and it really fits in with the new hip hop trend of rap.
Like, you could adapt to this day and age of rap.
Exactly.
And still be great.
Very trappy feeling, yeah.
Going back to favorite songs, I would say Windows Pane and Brackets. Those are my two favorites that resonated with me.
I think those were pretty deep as well, yeah. I wanted to actually touch up on, guys, is how big J. Cole has actually been and the type of albums that he's been putting out for years now. You know, I wanted to go through his discography ever since he put out Sideline Story in 2011. So I have it here. After Sideline Story, he came out with Born Sinner. A lot of great tracks, a lot of great music. My own favorite, and I think a lot of you guys can definitely relate to, with Kendrick Lamar, you know, Forbidden Fruit. Forbidden Fruit was definitely, you know, something that was definitely caught my attention.
Me and my bitch.
Take a little trip.
Down to the garden.
Oh no.
But
Great song.
Then we got Born Sinner. After Born Sinner, honestly, I think people thought that J.Cole was gonna die out. I thought that, you know, J.Cole. Well, people thought that
I think
J.Cole.
people got that feeling with For Your Eyes Only. Like, he went from full on like compelling rapper, celebrated rapper to like in people's eyes he became an activist. And like for some reason that kind of like, I wouldn't say rubbed people the wrong way, but they kind of deterred from J. Cole.
You know, speaking on that, I've always felt like J. Cole is someone who doesn't compromise his music, so to speak, because after Born Sinner, I think it was Forest Hills Drive, and people and people thought, you know, he was gonna continue to make that type of music, you know, but Cole, I think he's kind of etched out a little corner of hip hop for himself. So he's not the type of person that's just gonna give you what you want from him. He's gonna make the music he wants to make first and foremost. And again, I literally remember when we were in high school. That's when I was first introduced to J. Cole. Because when we were in high school, I remember like Lil Wayne was like the GOAT. Like nobody could touch this guy. And so when people would try to tell me, "Oh, check out this rapper," I'd be like, "Nah, man, I don't even know." But when I heard J. Cole, I realized then, you know, that he had the potential, and he continues to, you know, like make uncompromising music despite the age, despite the time. His music is his own, and I'm so glad that he's able and we're able to, you know, like listen to it.
Definitely. I mean, I feel like, especially for Forest Hills Drive, you know, I want to get into a little bit into Forest Hills Drive, you know, the fact that he really goes deep into, I guess, his past. He talks a lot about his times in his adolescence. He does have a track titled, I think, Adolescence. Yeah. You know, he goes deep into the past, and he talks about a lot of his roots,
his upbringing.
And I really appreciated that part of J. Cole. You know, giving that to his fans. You know, just so many great songs that I can't really name one. G.O.M.D. It's just.
And with J. Cole too, coming back to K.O.D., like I feel when I first heard that album, the very first reaction was, damn, real music again. That's the reaction I got. I was like, holy crap, I feel like we've been living in a bad dream of like bad music. I wouldn't say bad music, but not up to par that I would like to listen to.
So you feel like maybe like that's one of the meanings of the album. It's like there's still, I guess, music being made that is not just mainstream. You know, that's just not just to be put out there. Is that one of the things you think like the album means?
But I mean, I think this is the type of this is the type of music that would say, you know, he can also be so mainstream and not lose himself. You know, whereas he's just not making a song just to get attention, or you know, or just to get lit, or somebody hype you up. There's meaning to everything, even if it sounds progressive and new age. And I think that's where he excels.
Yeah, but that, you see, that's like also the stigma that people have J. Cole. I think that you said, you said that he's boring, which is fine. You know what I'm saying? Again, music is subjective. Everybody has their opinions.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, you know, you have to be in that person's position. I mean, I can't fathom how somebody cannot like J. Cole's music, at least. You know what I'm saying? And you know, that actually leads me to my next point. That, you know, since we're going through our favorite songs and a lot of the discography. If we get to the end, we have a pretty controversial song, I would say, titled 1985. And basically, I'm sure everybody has seen online, you know, the issues that he's had with Lil Pump directly and just all new age rappers, suggestively, but not, you know, limiting itself to, you know, people like Trippie Redd, XXX Tentacion.
The new wave.
You know, all these new guys, Tekashi 6ix9ine. Everybody's really, you know, aiming for this fast, aggressive hip hop trap, you know, bass boosted, and this guy is coming after all these guys.
You
all
know what I
these
love about it
youngsters,
too?
yeah.
I feel like he's coming, like he's going after them.
But not going after them.
Exactly, he's giving them advice, but then again, he's going after them.
But it's so real. You
yeah,
know?
and it's just a dope ass song.
And
It's a dope ass album, period. What would you guys rate it, by the way?
I would say for me, I think that it's a 10 out of 10. Before you guys say your ratings, remember, choose wisely.
Oh.
That's the meaning for me of the album. You gotta choose wisely.
Yeah, well, I would give it a 10 as well. That, to me, I love the album. I continuously listen to it. We were a little late on doing the review, but I think it's better because we let the music like sink
Saturate,
in.
marinate it.
We really enjoyed the album, you know, for us to actually speak on it.
What would you rate the album?
Come on, 10 out of 10. This guy kills it. Go out, buy the album, listen to the guy's music. I would say the best album of 2018 yet.
All right, guys. So in terms of J. Cole, where do you rank him? You know, in terms of like your top 5, your top 10. You know, as a
He's
rapper.
up there. He's definitely up there. What do you think, Kachi?
I definitely have him in my top 3. I will go mainstream because we'll dive into a little bit more. But for mainstream, I would say Kendrick is first.
Right.
J. Cole is second, and I will round it off with Drake as number 3. I'm not even gonna give you a top 5. I'll just give you a top 3.
No, my way.
So what do you guys think?
I think for me, my favorite rapper is Ab-Soul. And, you know, that's just, to me, that's number 1. And then right after him is J. Cole, for sure.
Yeah.
No Kendrick.
Oh, that's my favorite rapper. I didn't say best rapper. So my personal list of favorite is best rapper. I put Ab-Soul over
Then
Kendrick.
fuck my list. I just gave you the mainstream.
Look, how about let's go into lyricism. Best lyricist. I mean, top 2 for sure. You have to have J. Cole and Kendrick. Who can we put in a bracket up there with J. Cole and Kendrick? You know, because Drake is great.
And we mean now in today's rap.
Now, because Drake is great, but he's very mainstream, and some people write for him. You know what I'm saying? I'm guessing most of his things.
He's a culture vulture.
You know what I'm saying? So that's fine. He's got the money for it. He can afford to buy, you know, anything and put it out, and it'll be great. And I'm sure that Kendrick and J. Cole got the money for it too, you know, but they're more lyrical. You know what I'm saying? Who can we put there?
Yeah, if I were to give you my personal list, it'll be completely different. But the mainstream list to me is Kendrick, Cole, Drake. That's where I would rank them. That's second.
Yeah, I'll stick to that. You know who guys we're completely forgetting, and I'm just gonna throw him in there.
Dylan.
Thailand, and Thailand.
Because he spits hot fire.
You want some of this hot fire?
Let us know what you guys think. Comment, like, subscribe.
Till next time.
Chucky Rich.
Stay chunky.
I'm cracking a smile, I'm dying inside. My demons are close, I'm trying to hide. I'm popping a pill, I'm feeling alive. I'm feeling alive, 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 I'm feeling alive.